to St Helens. Handling errors 5-8, and possession, well, 50-50. And I think that is a fair reflection of the fact that the opening 20 belonged to the Saints. The closing 20 of that first half belonged to Featherstone Rovers, who make their way now for a very important 40 minutes here at Post Office Road. We've talked tonight, Steve-O, about the ambition of St Helens. There's no doubting the ambition of Featherstone to be amongst the title frontrunners too.
They showed great courage to come back from that deficit, but they realise they're going to have it very hard indeed against the wind and going up that very steep hill at Post Office Road. Important, that fella there, the little grubber kick, the hooker. He's got to start working and daunt the Queenslander. They really have clawed their way back into this game, and rightly so. They played well. They didn't panic. They took the 2 points on offer and just kept banging away and took the advantage, as we mentioned, when Sonny Nicol was sent to the sin bin. They scored that vital try.
Maloney then for Featherstone restarts this pulsating match at Post Office Road. 40 minutes, 2 points the difference between these two sides. And remember, both Featherstone and St Helens stripped of their prize assets during the summer. It was holding down in the tackle, this penalty on Mike Riley. And it was the 15, Gavin Hill, who was committing the offence. I was going to say, Steve-O, they were stripped, these two, of their prize assets. Paul Newlove of Featherstone and Gary Connolly of Saints, going to Bradford and Wigan respectively, but they have both, by the looks of things, these clubs papered over those cracks quite effectively, if the first 40 minutes is any evidence.
Yeah, they really have worked as a team, both sides, but Featherstone were very quick to correct their defensive problems. St Helens, I felt, that just went off the ball a little bit. It's going to be so important for the team who scores first. A big psychological boost that will be.
Here's Andy Dannett, a man who joined St Helens from Hull. His fee has yet to be decided. It will be by the transfer tribunal eventually. Phil Vevers, what an interesting decision that one will be, bearing in mind the Vichiers to Leeds saga that has dragged on. You might have seen it in boots and all over the past couple of weeks. Drop goal attempt meanwhile from O'Donnell. Oh, that was from just 8 yards inside the Featherstone half, and he planted it between the posts.
Well, we talk about the psychological lift, and this could well be it. That 1 point, that is a magnificent kick. It was played for.
His fourth one-pointer of this season. He really is the drop goal expert in the big league. 9 drop goals last season for O'Donnell. It's 4 already this. Early in the second half then, the news from the dressing rooms from Bill Arthur.
The news from the Featherstone Rovers dressing room. The coach, Steve Martin, has told his men to get these one-on-one tackles right. He says they missed too many in the first half. They've got to get them going in the second half and not allow Saints the opportunity, as they're playing downhill with the wind behind them. And Steve's message was, if you get that right and go out and play your game, and you can win this one. St Helens coach Mike McLennan wants his men to cut out the needle. He thinks they're being dragged into a scrap. He wants them to keep their cool, concentrate on the job in hand, and take advantage of playing down the slope with the wind behind them. And that drop goal is just the start he wanted to see to this second half.
3 points the gap now then, 13-10. That's a good point that Mike McLennan has made, Steve-O. Don't get yourself dragged into a needle match.
Well, they were giving away silly penalties, weren't they? It allowed Featherstone to score 2 penalties right in front. And in fact, we mentioned that St Helens were quite lucky not to have even more than one man sent to the sin bin. They were definitely professional fouls. They can't afford to give any away in this second half.
Brendan Tuta stopped on halfway. Good tackling that. Bernard Dwyer and Chris Joint. Gunn plants the ball into the corner for St Helens. Mike Riley will collect this. He'll run it out, trying to go past Neil Roebuck. Roebuck wheels him in.
Good kick there by the hooker, Gunn. He realised that he has a strong wind against him, so he kept the ball very low. Punched it into the corner, just hoping that St Helens will make that mistake.
Dwyer to Dannett, little short ball to Sonny Nicol, forward pass is the decision. Well, Saints look bemused.
And rightly so. This is not a forward pass. That was perfect.
Ian Ollerton didn't think so. He's awarded head and feet at the scrum to Rovers. They have possession with Maloney. Boy was almost through the gap. He's still going. The tackle wasn't completed. Saints let him go. So he was able to make 10 metres. Here's Steve Malloy handing off David Lyon, two former Warrington teammates. Oh no, it's Shane Cooper, my mistake. This is Daunt. Now it's Maloney, and there's Tuta. Tuta gets it to Daunt again. Daunt to Neil Roebuck. Roebuck to Gavin Hill. Hill with the strength. Oh, and that was David Lyon. That was Lyon with that particular tackle. Gunn. Oh, there's a big hole for Roebuck. Roebuck scores. Rovers have the lead. A big hole opened up, and Neil Roebuck exploited it.
They went for the sucker punch. Two players going at the one man. Look at that. It left a wide gap, and this man took the opportunity. That was a great try. But you'll see in the overhead, look, two men going for one man and left a huge gap. You can't afford to do that. They were expecting the kick. You only put one man on there. Two went for them. It was Mann and O'Donnell, and this second row has had a good game.
And perhaps a significant moment because Neil Roebuck scored a try in the victory over Wigan. He's given Rovers the lead for the first time, and Pearson can now extend that advantage to 3 points with this conversion. It just sneaks inside the post. It's 16-13. Rovers, having conceded a 12-point advantage, are back.
What on earth were these two players doing? Look at the gap that's left there. It was too late for the defence to scramble, and the second rower had the strength. Well taken try. But there'll be plenty said about that defensive quality from Saints.
So the Rovers have the lead for the first time tonight. It's been a long time coming. They've made it difficult for themselves. But from the midpoint of that first half, this has been on the cards.
Well, they've kept their composure, haven't they? They've stuck to their guns. They tightened up that defence. They started using the big forwards. Then we saw the combination of Maloney and Daunt working well, getting the ball out wide. They've been working the link well too.
It's no fluke, this.
None whatsoever. They're playing very good football. I put the mocker on them.
Gary Price drops it. Up to that moment, they were indeed. And he hardly played that anyway, did he?
Simple case there of a player not looking at the football, looking at the man coming in towards it in the tackle.
Gavin Hill just wiping a touch of claret from the nose. And Ian Ollerton in the thick of that scrum, laying the law down, fed by O'Donnell through the hands of Beavers. Knock on. It went through, but Beavers got a touch, and that was enough.
Well, this was a horror ball, wasn't it? And that went backwards in my book. But that was a poor pass by the halfback, Gus O'Donnell. They're becoming their own worst enemy, I'm afraid, St. Helens.
Gavin Hill. I don't think it's any coincidence that since Gavin Hill has come on, Featherstone do look a meaner, a more effective outfit.
But he's led by example. He's taking the ball in and he's been pulling that St. Helens defence in. And when you've got two players, as we mentioned, like Maloney and Daunt, they can throw out the long ball out wide.
Malloy gets the ball away to Roebuck.
He's had a big game, Steve Malloy. He's worked very hard.
Daunt hoists another kick. It's one to chase out there. It bounces off the heads. Who's to it first? Lyon is for St. Helens. But the referee says Featherstone were offside.
It was deemed that the winger Ikram Butt was just in front when the kick was coming there. And another bad mistake there by Les Quirk. taking the time. It was pretty late as well by Terry Manning, should I say. Just out of your picture there, but he was in front, was Ikram, but the winger. Well, that really is a let-off for St Helens.
And David Lyon has received a bang there, got a crack in the ribs. Will take some treatment from Jeanette Smith. The Featherstone Rovers fans are furious that the referees called time off while Lyon received treatment.
Yeah, the winger dropped there with the knees. But he had committed himself.
Offside against Featherstone at that quick penalty. George Mann is going eyeball to eyeball with almost all the Featherstone players.
Yes, and one in particular, the loose forward, Brendan Tutor. They've had a battle royal all night.
Lachlan found touch with a penalty. Here comes Saints again with Andy Dunnett. He's as rough as they and tough as they come. This is Chris Joynt now. A great tackling again from Gavin Hill. Donald slips. He gets flattened too, and there's a fight off the ball. O'Donnell is swinging punches while we watch George Mann touchdown. But it will be interesting to see what the referee says, because the touch judge is on, and the referee has not given the try yet. He wants a word with the touch judge, I think. Saints are celebrating. George Mann stole the try, but my eye was caught by a real battle involving Gus O'Donnell. And I don't think the referee has yet to point to the spot and award the try. This is a vital moment.
Well, will he give the try? The crowd are hushed. I got the impression that the Featherstone defence just stopped. See how the ball goes in.
There it is there. It's O'Donnell's up, and he's quickly up to his opposite number, Daunt.
They really were trading into it. Then they get into it again.
The referee's given the try, though. Controversy here. There was a fight in the background. It looked to me like O'Donnell started it, but the referee, after consultation with his touch judge, gives St Helens the try. The George Mann four-pointer will stand.
Plenty of controversy. On the replay, the ball comes back in. He slips, he gets the ball away. O'Donnell took offence to the late tackle from Daunt. There they go, swinging punches. This guy says, hey, let's get on with the football. No one lays a finger on the big fella. Right under the black dot. What a vital try. George Mann, he had a big first 20 minutes, and it couldn't come at a better time for Saints than now.
George Mann's second try of the night. It left Paul Loughlin with the easy task from in front of the sticks. And St Helens are back in front in this seesaw of a match. And the referee now wants a word with Gus O'Donnell. And the Featherstone Rovers crowd are going potty. And he's picking out Brett Daunt as well. He's going to have a word with the two scrum halves.
Well, it doesn't matter what size you are. It's a tough game. Or what position you play. A bunch of fives in the jaw. It sure hurts.
Well, we said there was plenty of needle creeping into this match, and so it's proved to be. It's a rough, tough sport, is this.
It'll be interesting to see how the referee, Ian Ollerton, handles it from here on in.
3 points the difference now, but it's St Helens who are in the box seat. They lead by 19 points to 16. Dunnett picks himself up on halfway. Dwyer scampering forward. Great run from Dwyer. This Cooper's there. That was a great tackle by Pearson on Cooper. It saved 4 points. This is Sonny Nicol attacking down the right-hand side. Hunt touches down. 2 in 2 minutes since. Suddenly the match again is swinging away from Rovers and swinging towards St Helens.
This is the run that led to the try. Dwyer's run, and you will see that when he gets tackled, there are 3 Featherstone players converge upon him, and the ball back inside. Cooper was taken there. It was a ankle tap by Pearson that just stopped him. and the ball out wide. Nickel, Alan Hunt, super play, but it all came about earlier. The defence was absolutely ripped to shreds there. But what I say is that 3 Featherstone players had gone down into the tackle. They were still on the floor when the ball had been taken.
Welcome back, Alan Hunt. 2 tries as he comes back from a 4-match suspension, and he's put a bit of daylight between St Helens and Featherstone Rovers again. So Paul Loughlin, 3 out of 4. Make that 3 out of 5. The gap is 7 points. 16 Featherstone, 23 the Saints.
Quick play the ball. There are 3 Featherstone players in there, and when the ball clears the ruck, they are still on the ground. Look at them, 1, 2, 3. That is no good for your defence, and that's the reason why Dwyer took advantage. You've got to take your chances, and they certainly did then.
Featherstone Rovers bringing Leo Casey back on. Steve Malloy is the man coming off, and obviously with that rush of scoring by Saints, Featherstone really have to try and get something back into this game now before it slips totally from their grasp. Leo Casey took a knock to the wrist in that first half. He's got over that injury. Now he's back on, trying to just G up his teammates for another effort. See if they can get back into this one once again.
Another mistake, though, from St Helens from the kickoff. That's the second time tonight they've let the ball run dead direct from the kickoff. But it is not a bad penalty, or rather drop out from underneath the sticks, not a penalty. Drop out underneath the sticks. It went well into the Featherstone half. But that shows just how powerful that wind that's blowing here at Featherstone really is tonight.
Yeah, it was a great kick. Featherstone are not done yet. They'll fight back. They showed it in the first half that they can do it.
Roebuck is halted in his tracks by Cooper. Nickel pushes him back another couple of metres. 56 minutes gone, 23-16. Relentless this match. It's with Roebuck. That's off the outside of the boot. Terrible kick. It's gone backwards in the wind. It's back now with Pearson. Risky business from Featherstone. Pearson relieves the pressure, but, well, Rovers must feel like King Canute facing those waves, because back comes St Helens again with Lyon.
Well, it was a bad kick by the second rower, Roebuck, but good play by Martin Pearson. He realised that the ball was going backwards. He raced back to give himself time, because he knew, or perhaps thought, that Roebuck would pass it back to him. He did. And that looked high from Tutor.
Tutor's challenge on Dunnett. It goes unpunished by referee Ollerton. Here's Loughlin. Plenty of contentious issues in this match tonight. George Mann playing as well as ever at prop forward. That probably is his best position. He's released Joint. What a run. This is from Joint. Joint fed the ball to David Lyon, and there's the third try, second half Saints. Featherstone are bewildered. They can't believe it. But David Lyon, moving up in support, grabs his third of the season.
Well, let's not stick it together, let's use the joint, and that's what happened. Beautiful play by the second rower. George Mann fed it through. They've kept him quiet all night up until now, and look at that step for such a big man, and look at the speed. And the last pass, beautiful support play by the fullback, David Lyon. Super stuff. Long ball. You've got to put this man down. They failed to do that. He swivels in the tackle. Now watch the step. Here it comes. Oh, brilliant stuff. He really is a star of the future. Perfectly timed pass. But what's superb backing up from the fullback.
David Lyon. He got 2 tries here in the Challenge Cup tie that they still talk about here at Post Office Road. He was the man of the match that night. Or that day, rather. This is Loughlin, and Loughlin's missed another 2. 27-16, but St Helens gradually moving further and further away in this second half.
It's all about that same defensive problem. Look, 3 men, Featherstone there. The ball gets away, back away, and look at the gap again. And there's no better man to exploit the gap than Chris Joint.
The referee, I think, wants Gavin Hill to go into the blood bin and receive treatment. The nose has been streaming blood for quite some time, evidence the red on the chest of his jersey. So Gavin Hill goes off for temporary repairs. And while he is off and in the blood bin, on will come Gary Price, the other Gary Price on the Featherstone Rovers books. They just got away with that. And indeed, it's not Gary Price who was stripping off, it's Steve Malloy, and he's right in to the tackling there. Number 8. There he is, Malloy, on for the blood bin, Gavin Hill.
Really has been a great blitz by St Helens. I'm afraid Featherstone, they've paid that price of having too many at the play the ball, very slow getting back into the defence, and they've exploited it of St Helens. You've got to take the hat off to them.
Nearly an hour on the clock, and Featherstone 16, the Saints 27. This will be a big win for St Helens if it proves to be a victory, but whisper that quietly to Featherstone. But there is a mistake by Pearson. He's given it to Hunt. Hunt's on a hat-trick, and he's lost the ball. Riley's tried to take it off him. Has Hunt lost it? Referee, what's his decision? He's had a word or a little glance from the touch judge. The touch judge confirmed it was a knock-on. And I didn't drop it, says Hunt.
Great tackle by the wing, and then he let go of it. No doubt about it. He's trying with his fingertips there to get away with it.
It was a back of the palm, back of the hand job, that, wasn't it?
Gypsy Rose Lee, read my palms.
Well, he's on a hat-trick, is Alan Hunt. That's why he is so keen. But what a great game this has been. Featherstone have played full part in it, and it's not over yet by a long shot.
Well, will it go exactly the same way as it did in the first half?
Well, you are Gypsy Rose Lee. You've read my mind. I was thinking exactly the same.
What a tackle by Sonny Nicol. Oh, Carl Gibson felt the full weight of that. Look at this, crunch time. Oh!
That was a big hit. And Nicol leading the charge there on Pearson. But Pearson somehow got the ball away, despite the fact that he was getting clawed back by the collar. Look.
Well, it was a great kick in the end, wasn't it? Being dragged back there. No chance for Quirk to get to that one.
Great entertainment, though. George Mann's on his knees. O'Donnell feeds and finds Phoebus. Well, what must Featherstone do now, Mike? Revert to plan A as they did in the first half to rescue this match, as we see Riley head off down the wing. Oh, that's a great tackle from Gibson.
Yeah, it's a combination of Gibson, the centre, and the winger Simpson. Excellent stuff. Well, that's what they've got to do first, make sure the defence is good. Then they've got to try to claw their way back. They know they can do it. They did it in the first 40. But time is against them now.
Well, it's a case of which price is right for Featherstone Rovers, because Gary S. Price has come off and Gary H. Price is the price that's gone on. You see what I mean?
Yeah, we get you. There's Quirk, dropped it. The ball went back, though. Play on. Oh, well, he's given it away again this time, and again it went backwards. I don't think Ian Ollerton is the most popular man in this particular part of West Yorkshire.
Well, it doesn't matter how much the crowd cry out. If the ball's going backwards, it's going backwards. And that man, Quirk, is having a nightmare.
Gunn was shoulder to shoulder with Mann. Dwyer from dummy half. Short ball to Chris Joint. Gary Price in on the tackling.
Now this is where St Helens have to start using the kick. Let's get out of here. No point trying to play down the middle, but oh, the break's there.
With Joint again, but but the referee has pulled them back for forward pass once more. Dannett was on his way for his first try in Saints colours. The referee hauls them back for this forward pass.
Good run again by Dwyer, the hooker, and it was good positioning by Ollerton.
It was right in front of him, wasn't it?
Yep. But with such a commanding lead, you know, Featherstone, should I say St. Helens, they really have to start using the kick, just push Featherstone back into their own quarter.
Well, Gavin Hill is trying to come back out of the blood bin, and he will replace Malloy, who replaced him. So Malloy comes off, and Hill, with the blood quelled, goes back to take his place in that scrum. Now Maloney for Featherstone. Little half gap, he was looking over his shoulder. Pearson was there, but Maloney in the end hung on. Pearson now the dummy half, finds Manning, and Pearson once more. Casey with the run. 65 minutes gone, a quarter of an hour left. The match is there for Featherstone to rescue. They came so close to rescuing that first half, and they are now just 11 points adrift. 2 converted tries, they'd be ahead. Good run from Maloney. He's not tackled, he was not held. Now he is, and that's the 5th. The 20 metres out, Featherstone in possession with Daunt. He clips one over the top, and David Lyon comes up with the goods for St. Helens.
He did well there, the giant substitute. Gavin Hill really did charge down upon him. But I'm afraid Featherstone are getting into that zone where they've got to start taking risks, take the big gamble. Little chips over, the long ball out wide, missing people out. Is their only hope now.
Well, if you like your sport rough and tough, this is the place to be tonight. Sky Sports, raw courage on display at Post Office Road, Featherstone against St. Helens, and more raw courage to come from the Cardiff Arms Park later. Remember, we will be in South Wales, 9:30, for the heavyweight championship that Great Britain has waited over 100 years for. Lewis against Bruno, 9:30. The programme starts tonight, and those two will be in the ring just before 1 a.m. What a night of drama and high action on Sky tonight this is. Leo Casey with the run. Richard Gunn, the dummy half. Brendan Tutor takes over. Takes some bringing down, doesn't he? Evidence on show here tonight why this is the roughest, the toughest, the most physically demanding contact team game in the world. It's been a real battle. Offside, St. Helens. Featherstone are inching closer and closer.
They've got to take a quick tap, get on with the game.
Richard Gunn has read the script, and here's Leo Casey. Brett Daunt is telling his men to load the right-hand side as the ball is worked to Daunt, and he takes the tackle right underneath the St. Helens sticks.
This is where they need to run round, something different. Switch back inside, anything to just pull that defence out.
Gunn directing the operations, pointed right, came left. Maloney, good tackle by O'Donnell, and Dannett was there too. Gunn pointed right, went right this time. Trying to go on his own is Richard Gunn, gets the ball away to Daunt. Daunt with a long pass out wide. He took the gamble. Tutor. Well, it's frantic, breakneck pace stuff this, and Saints have it back with Bernard Dwyer.
Good play by the hooker then, but Featherstone were unlucky. That's the type of gamble they've got to try. They've got to keep throwing the long ball out wide. Tutor trying to get the ball away. Just couldn't be held there by the centre. Oh, this has really been live wire stuff.
If that would have stuck from Tutor, Manning would have been in. And a try would be so welcome for Featherstone. Little to choose again, second half between these two, but Saints have made their possession count. Here's George Mann. What a game he's had. He finds David Lyon. Ball back inside to Quirk. Quirk tries to get away from the tackler. It's a great tackle, though, by Manning. Play on, says the referee. Dwyer releases the pass to Loughlin. And now the referee would say it's the turnover. It's on the 6th tackle. Featherstone are keen to get on with it. Well, don't take your eye off the screen for a moment. You could miss something here.
Been a great defensive stint from the second row there. Sonny Nicol really has worked hard in the second half, come up with some real heavy crunch tackles.
You have to admire, Steve-O, the physical fitness of these two sides, indeed of all the sides in the big league this season.
Never any doubt, we knew it was going to be a tough game.
Bounces off the chest. Gary Price it was, the substitute. Bernard Dwyer takes it up for St Helens. Didn't like that challenge.
Got a little look there at Tutor.
He shook his head, didn't he? This is Vivers.
They're getting a bit
at St Helens, Vivers.
They're getting a little bit excited, these players.
You can say 9 years at Saints, I bet he's not been in a tougher one than this.
I'll ask him after the game. It really has been a cracker.
George Mann. Mann looking to offload the ball, has to take the tackle in the end. Dwyer to Cooper. Cooper to Chris Joynt. Chris Joynt is through! Brilliant try! That could be the match for Saints. Joynt hit the strap then and was not going to be stopped.
It's all about strength out wide, and this guy really has got that strength. It's a beautiful pass from Cooper. They expected the run around. They went high on Joynt. He's very strong upstairs. He just pushed the man away. Excellent try, and that should seal it for them. Cooper, look at the strength here. They went too high. Brendan Tutor went to go body and the ball. You can't stop a man like that. He's so big and so strong.
Well, man of the match against Wigan at Old Trafford. A try on Sunday, a try here in the Regal. England and Great Britain calls last season. A 4th under-21 cap to, a runner-up in the Young Player of the Year awards at the end of the season, Chris Joynt. Tremendous effort from him again here tonight. Loughlin then with this conversion attempt. 31-16 it is to Saints at the moment, and it stays at 31-16.
Four-man defence, they're looking at one man there, and that's where this guy is going to go. Super try, look at the step and the strength. You can't go too high on this guy. That is a well-taken try.
31-16, Chris Joynt, 8 minutes to go, and Joynt, Steve-O, in the Great Britain squad for Wembley. Malcolm Reilly will whittle the numbers down this week, probably to about 19, I think it is. And Chris Joynt's name, I think, could well be penciled in after this tonight.
Well, he's had a quiet game right up until late in the second half, but they've kept a pretty tight control of the big second rower. But when the game starts running, he starts running out wide. He really is so strong. But talking of that test match, I'm sure that the Kiwis will be very happy with the performance of the prop forward George Mann. He's had a wow of a game.
Nicol will run strongly. Featherstone, incidentally, have made another change. Malloy has come back on yet again, and the man he's replaced is Gavin Hill. But on the last tackle for St Helens, as O'Donnell hoists the kick. Now that's caught in the wind. Wasn't the greatest kick. Vivers has come up with it, releases the ball. Mann gets it over the top. Loughlin, that was a knock-on. Just a small one, but the little one was enough.
They all count, don't they? It's the fingertips. But offside, St Helens. I think Featherstone realised that time has beaten them. It was the culprit, George Mann. A bit too fast off the mark. But full credit to both these sides. They've served up a tough one. There's been skills, toughness, all on show tonight.
Oh, well picked up that was. Featherstone will keep running forward. Roebuck gets the ball out to Gibson. That was well held too. He calls Simpson to take inside him, but then Gibson is bundled into touch by 3. Another great defensive effort from St Helens.
Well, it's all a matter of showing him the touchline, isn't it? Using it to its full advantage. Gibson had nowhere to go there. The massive numbers taking him out over the line. Bit of frustrating night for Featherstone. They allowed St Helens to get off to a really great start. They fought back well to go in just 2 points down at the half-time break. But full credit to St Helens, Eddie. They've taken their chances. Quick play of the balls has caught the Featherstone defence napping on a couple of occasions, and that's been the difference this second half.
Super running from them too, particularly in the forwards. But here come, I was going to say, the backs and the half-back. But it is now getting just a little bit frustrating for Featherstone. They got the ball back and they immediately give it away.
Well, there's little doubt that Dwyer called to his opposite gun then and said, "Inside, mate." And he gave it.
Nichols grounded on the halfway line. And this is Andy Dannett with a strong run and taken low down by Casey. 5 minutes to go in this second half, 5 minutes to go in this match. Mistake from George Mann, that's a knock on. What a great advert though this is for the big league. 16 Featherstone, 31 St Helens, less than 5 to go now. Don't forget, by the way, Sunday we kick the Kiwis off. Wales against New Zealand, the start of the Kiwi tour of Great Britain, 1993. And it's all happening at the Vetchfield Swansea. Kick off at 3. You'll see the whole match as live from 7. And if that, Steve-O, and it will be a belter, if that is half as good as this, well, what menu we have served up on Sky this weekend.
We really have had some great football this season, and I'm sure there's going to be more to come, and that's using the shepherd. Tutor using a man to run in front, shakes his head in disbelief, but there's little doubt. There you see, he uses the man. It was Roebuck, the man there. There's no chance that Nicol could get to him. He's worked hard as Tutor. He's a tough guy. He's led by example. But they've just had that little bit of poise and finish as St Helens in the second half.
Well, they lost at Hull Kingston Rovers, then at Warrington. But perhaps the victory at Castleford last Sunday and this here tonight will mark the turning point for St Helens. They are certainly running the angles and running full of confidence just now.
Well, they know the game's in the bag. They can try all those moves like that. Getting a little bit scrappy now. All the hard work that they do at training, when you know that the game's well and truly won, but it's pretty late there by the loose forward Tutor, when the tackle had already been made. There's been no love lost in this game at all. It's been a cracker.
Yes, the last 3 matches have been perhaps significant for St Helens. Salford beaten at home, Castleford beaten away, and another good win here tonight at Post Office Road, where nothing comes easy. And the St Helens title charge perhaps back on track, and a bit of frustration between Malloy and Nicol. Well, that fight now going on would grace the boxing ring of the Arms Park, but I'm afraid it does little for the game of rugby league.
Yes, there's no belt at stake in this one, only the belt that you get in. And he certainly did that, and that was a flop, a late tackle by Nicol. Malloy didn't like it. Frustration just coming into it. Plays the ball, crunch, there it goes. There he missed. He missed.
3. He got
1. 4. I'm not a boxing judge. I put Malloy just in front.
Nicol missed with 3, but I think he caught him on the 4th. Well, you don't expect any player to take a backward step in matches like this, Steve-O, but dear me.
It was late. Nicol did flop onto the top, and the frustration coming through all the time. It was simmering and not surprising.
Well, it's a penalty to St Helens as a result of all that, but I must say, Steve-O, let's hope that Bruno and Lewis land with a couple of punches not like that tonight.
You don't mean the flop, I hope. Well, there'll be plenty of sparks flying down in Wales, that's for sure. As you mentioned, Eddie, what an entree this has been.
It's all right us being humorous about it, but we're out of the action up here on the gantry, well away from all the punches, the boots and everything else that flies on a rugby field. We don't mean to be frivolous, but there you go. Nicol on the charge. Holding it up, Dwyer gets the ball to Chris Joint. And Featherstone had moved forward a bit quickly, but I think the referee's got them for
Shepherd.
Yeah.
Joint used Alan Hunt to come through. You can see quite clearly the referee indicating to the crowd. The man running through. There's a lot of looking at the referee, doesn't he, Alan Hunt? Saying, what, me? Never.
Malloy, a little bout of fisticuffs with Nicol has fired him up for the last couple of minutes here. We're into injury time added on by the timekeepers. It's a priceless victory for St Helens, but Featherstone are coming forward once more. He's lost it, I think, or the ball was stolen from him, and it's the substitute Gary Price. They have tapped it to run quickly. No point having a go for goal in circumstances like this. Respectability is what it's all about now. Here's Casey. Round the corner, just as he did on Sunday at Bradford, but Gibson couldn't hang on to it. Little knock on.
Well, he had to try the prop forward, Casey. The idea was there, but he just overrun it to centre Gibson.
"60 seconds of stoppage time has elapsed. It is a victory for St Helens, who are in possession with Alan Hunt.
Well, all these players deserve a rest, I'm sure, after this game. The bumps and bruises will be coming up tomorrow morning.
Rain pours down here at Post Office Road. Let's hope all the rain is up north and not down there in Cardiff. Let's hope nothing will interrupt what will be a monumental night of sport on Sky tonight.
Look at the strength of that man. The game's already in the bag, with George Mann still fighting to make that break.
Beavers with the huge kick downfield, catches in the wind and runs dead in goal.
Doesn't matter. Eats up the seconds. Good tactics there. No point in using the forwards and running the risk of having a bad injury.
I can see the timekeepers from where we're watching this match, and there's no sign of them yet going to the full-time siren.
Well, Malloy trying to get this ball away there. The Australian Dawn not really expecting that. In normal circumstances, that wouldn't have been on, a pass like that.
It's Featherstone Rovers' first defeat here in 9 months, and the last team to beat them was St Helens. And here's Hunt for the hat-trick. Alan Hunt signals his return to the big league after suspension with 3 priceless tries.
Super play by the veteran Beavers. Played in the centre, runs at the angle, just dips under 2. They went too high, especially the fullback Pearson. Lovely position though by Alan Hunt, in for his 3rd. Points to the crowd, said that's 3. Beautiful play. See how he run up the angle there. 2 went to him, went too high. He's pretty strong too, but the positioning was the key factor. Beautiful try. Yes, Alan, you've got 3.
Well, if Chris Joint's name is penciled in by Malcolm Reilly, I'm sure that smiling Alan Hunt's name is too. He was named in the Great Britain squad despite the fact that he was on a 4-match ban, and Malcolm Reilly, I rather fancy, will keep faith with the St Helens player. Loughlin this time kicks the goals, and worrying it is for Featherstone. They've now conceded over 30 points in 3 of their last 4 matches, but this perhaps has been a significant night for the men from Knowsley Road. Beaten to the championship on points difference alone last season, they have come to one of the most difficult grounds to pick up anything from, and they have destroyed Featherstone with a tremendous display. 2 for Mann, who's had a great game, 3 for Alan Hunt. St Helens win 37-16.